because Asian men know how to treat black women as queens.
These black men are showing their, well, that ain't the father. Boom, 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 boom. What other group of men is going to respect you and you abandon your offspring? The highlight on the skin. Lord of mercy. Leave dust alone. Open up your options. Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here, and I am a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a life coach with a specialty in relationship coaching. I have been dubbed by Fox and NBC as a relationship guru. Here we go. Let's talk about what we're talking about today. Oh my goodness, there's an Asian man who is urging Black women to give up this fruitless fight and come over to the wild side. No, just joking, just joking. But seriously, we're going to be reacting to a video today that was sent to me by Yuri. So special shout out to Yuri, who shares my videos with her mother. So Mom and Yuri, hi, how you doing? You can always send me videos to react to on my website. Just click on the contact button. That's the best way to get videos to me. She sent me this video of an Asian man who is beseeching us Black women. He is laying out the pros and the cons, and he is really what is the word for it? He's making a case for himself. And you know what? We're going to listen to that, and then we're going to talk after. Don't say nothing, okay? Just listen. Just listen.
What's up, YouTube? This is me, Asian Dave, aka Fanatical for Jesus, aka Dawei, aka David Chu. I want to talk about something that I'm going to direct this video towards Black women because I just want to know something. I was just, as you could tell in the background, Maury is on, and there was a Black man on there he was in a relationship with a white woman, and he got busted for being a cheater. And I was just thinking, I was like, why is it that Black women still keep trying to find a quote good Black man when Black men don't even know how to treat white women good? I mean, they glorify white women so much. Like, you see it all the time. Black men are always glorifying white women. I mean, that song that says Michelle Pfeiffer, White Gold, or whatever, I forgot how the song goes, but they're always like glorifying white women, and you see them all the time in relationships with white women, and they treat white women like they're the cream of the crop. And then they turn around and mistreat white women. They cheat on them. They do the same stuff that they do with Black women, except, they do the same stuff that they do with Black women. But the difference is they glorify white women so much. And the thing is, why is it that Black women are still trying to find the quote-unquote good Black man when they can see that Black men can't even treat the women that they glorify so much? They can't even treat them good. Like, you would think that since they glorify white women so much, that they would be able to treat the women that they glorify good. But since they can't even treat the women that they glorify good, what makes you think that a quote unquote good Black man will treat a Black woman good? That's why I.
You know what? I had to pause because I'm trying to be serious, and you all in the comments are misbehaving. What are you doing? Can you behave? Will you? I said, listen, listen. The man is speaking. Oh my God, you know something? I can't. Listen. We're going to talk after the video is over, but can you listen, please? Because I want you to hear when he makes the case for himself. You know what? I'm done with some of you. Let me go get my belt. You behave. All right, let's continue forward.
I say Black women need to just give up on trying to find the quote good Black man, because there's no such thing as a good Black man. Black men just, well, I don't want to say that there's absolutely no such thing because I haven't met every single Black man in the world, but from what I have seen, Black men do not know how to treat women, and that's not necessarily their fault. it's just I don't know what it is. I don't know like where I don't know why they don't know how to treat a woman. But the thing is, black women need to just give up on black men. They do, like, cause it's not.
You know what? Stop it,
It's
Drew. You
not.
all are gonna
It's
make me
like chase.
listen. You all are gonna make me have to do the video over. Can you please stop, please? Now you look. You got my eyes are running. Now you're gonna mess up the glitter highlight that I put on my cheek to look so cute. I can't deal. I can't deal with you all because you got me laughing at inappropriate points of the video. See now, look. Now a tear has come down. Oh, good. You can't see it on camera, really. Let me try to put it back in. Let me try to. You all are messing up my face. You know, look, now look. Look. You know what? Listen, behave, please. I'm so sick and tired of you all, you bad children. Listen, I'm going to put you all up for adoption if you don't stop. Listen, we're going to go forward. I'm so sick and tired of you all. Let's go forward. I'm so mad. You all are messing up my video.
It's like trying to chase a treasure, a pot of treasure, at the end of the rainbow. Like it's never. It's hard. It's probably never gonna happen. So black women deserve a whole lot better than just chasing the proverbial pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Black women deserve a lot better than that. They deserve to be treated as queens. And since black men don't have it in them to treat them like queens like they deserve, then black women need to go to people who will treat them as queens. And I mean, like I would say that more and more black women need to start being with Asian men because Asian men know how to treat black women as queens. But I mean, if a black woman wants to be with a white guy or a Spanish guy, that's fine too because like, well, I would be against a black woman being with a white guy, but that's just because of racism and white supremacy being so prevalent and huge in today's society and world at large. But at the same time, even a white guy would probably treat a black woman better than black men do. And
All right, you know what? Listen. He continues on for a few more minutes. I didn't watch the whole video. I watched it up until the part where he made the case for Asian men, right? Now, I'm very upset with you all in the comments. This is how you all shoot yourselves in the foot because you can't recognize a diamond in the rough. Mm, mm, mm. You know, I'm glad that we did this video live because I got the opportunity to see how some of you women behave. And I think that there's a dysfunction that exists. And I understand that I was laughing at some of these crazy comments, which I will not repeat, but okay. So the guy has a little slur in his words. It could be the microphone. And yeah, he wasn't using a complimentary camera angle, right? But listen to what it is that he's saying. You all are out here getting embarrassed in these streets by black men. He makes a really good case. He says black men pedestalize white women. They put them up on these pedestals. They talk about how they're better and all of this other stuff. But when all is said and done, they take the same dysfunctions that they left the black community with and they go over to the white community. There's this saying, once you go black, you're a baby mama. We have to make up our mind about what is it that we want overall. You know, I understand swagger is nice. I understand that having, the flow and all that other stuff, that finesse and all of the charisma and all that other stuff. I understand that's nice, but charisma doesn't build families. Charisma doesn't make money. Charisma is nice to interact with. Charisma feels good, but what is the general makeup of that man? If you all have seen some of the stats that I have seen, if you've looked at the Census Bureau and the wealth gap in this country, we talk about white men being the alpha men. However, Asian men far out earn white men here in America. There was a woman who came onto my videos earlier today, and she was like, "Oh, Tanya, how could you say that Caribbean men and African men are better than American Black men?" Now, I never said better. You don't hear me using comparative words of judgment like better and this type of stuff. I present the information and the facts to you. And men from the Caribbean, men from Africa are more likely to get married. They're more marriage minded. They understand hypergamy. They love the features of Black women. They don't have legions and scores of music out there degrading women who look like them and who are from their culture. They don't have legions of platforms of men who are bashing their women. I have been seeing a lot lately, Black men who are coming on and they're like, "That's why no other man wants you. That's why no other man finds you attractive," and going off, right? And I think to myself, no other man is supposed to. Like, it's nice if other men, like, people are supposed to like the features that they possess. No other man is by design built to find us attractive. I mean, genetically built to find people who look like him, people who produce children who look like him attractive. So now, yes, Black women are beautiful. There are beautiful features in every type of woman. And I can understand why a white man would be like, "Oh, I love white women," right? It's like nowadays we get so sensitive about people speaking up about having a preference for features that look like their own. And Black people are in a particularly prickly spot in this country because we have been promoted this European standard of beauty. So I hear Black men and I see them online talking about, "That's why no one finds you attractive. That's why you're not good looking," right? But what is it saying about them? I read this statement that said when Black men say that they prefer white women, they're actually worshiping white men. They're worshiping the women that come out of white men's household. They're worshiping the geno and phenotype, the genetic look of white men and what is produced by white men DNA. And it's like Black men don't understand how they shoot themselves in the foot. Because if you want to be dominant, if you want to dominate, if you want to surpass, you can't be out there saying what you have is better, what you create, flesh of your flesh, is better than what I create, flesh of my flesh. When you say that you think that white women are more beautiful, that white women are raised better, that white women are more feminine, that white women are better women, you really insult yourself. You insult the way that you raise your own children. And yes, not being there is a choice. Not being there aids in how your children are raised, what resources are bestowed upon your children, what investment, parental time investment, and otherwise is given to your children. There are many Black men who feel that they can skirt the responsibility of actually being there and show up and then blame somebody else for how their children turn out. No, your children are a result of the choice of you not being there. You give the indication that you feel that another man's genes are stronger or better or more appealing than your own. And colorism is the bastard child of racism, where you say, "Oh, well, I will get in as close proximity to the oppressor as I can." When you speak about Black women and their femininity or lack thereof, you really speak about your own masculinity or the lack thereof. The way that you can provide for your family and provide safety for your women and your children so that they can relax into their femininity, so that you demonstrate how masculine of a male and provider and caretaker you are. You really only end up insulting yourself and what it is that you're putting out there into the world, what it is that you're creating. And in the same way that you see Nigerian men propping up their women and, yeah, you go, girl, look at you. Oh, my woman is the baddest woman. My women are beautiful, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like I hear African American people talk about, oh, well, these people don't like us, and et cetera, which is a lie, right? Men like women. And Black men like Black women. And so I hear African Americans saying, oh, these people don't like us. They don't like the, etc. No, a person is supposed to feel most aligned with those who are culturally most similar to them. A person is supposed to prop up who it is that they are. Now, lambast another group? No, we don't stand for that. But a person having self-pride and saying, yeah, look at my Latina sisters. Yeah, look at my African sisters. Yeah, look at, yeah, of course. We want that. We want to see that. We want to see a person having pride in self. And when I talk about certain men being more likely, so it's like if you're gonna stab fish in a barrel, stab fish in a barrel that are more likely to be the type of fish that you want to bring home. It's like if you're looking for sugar, go into the aisle that's most likely to have sugar. Don't stand up there in the freezer section looking in a complete different area with an area that is less likely to have what it is that you're looking for. Are there going to be people who have issues in different cultures and different races? Yes, of course. However, your energy is going to attract a reflection, who it is that you put out there, and it's going to be reflected back to you. So when you go out there with your energy into different cultures, you're going to find your reflection in these cultures. All I'm saying is go where you are most likely to find the characteristics that are more feasible to creating a family, more feasible to having a well-off family, more feasible to having and being able to give parental investment to the children. Celeste is saying it's an issue of marketing. Yes, of course. And how is it that you are being marketed out there? How is it that your man props you up? And the thing about it is, so Rebellia says, I have a friend from college. She's Black. Her husband is Chinese. They've been married over 10 years. And I'm sure they're doing very well. I'm going to give you all a secret about Chinese men. There's this phenomenon that has taken place where white men have conquered all around the world, and he's propped up his image of beauty and his woman's image of beauty as paramount, right? At the apex, the highest that you can achieve, right? So this weird thing happens where Black men in worship of white men say, I want your woman, the woman that you've promoted as being the quote unquote best, the woman that you have exalted, right? And Asian women, they're like, I want white men. So Asian women are the group of women that is most likely to date out. So we have two groups of people. Look, so Black women are the least likely to date out. Asian women are the most likely to date out. And Asian men are left there in the balance, having to reconcile with this female partner abandonment, right? And Black women are sitting here having to reconcile with this male partner abandonment, right? So yes, most Black men are married to Black women. However, the more money a Black man makes, the more likely he is to date outside of his race, because there are many of them who feel, oh, well, I've made it. Now that I have more money, I'm going to get the best of the best woman. And the thing about it is, Black women, you have to really sit in your pride and esteem as a woman and know that you're beautiful, know that you're desirable. Listen, do the work on yourself. Yes, continue to work out, eat well, get your sleep, drink lots of water, take care of your mental health, educate yourself, continue to climb upward, and do the things that you need to do for you. Do not let these people's assaults and attacks penetrate. What I'm saying is, for years, I remember when I was young, growing up, teenager, and I used to read these magazines. Remember Marie Claire and Cosmopolitan and all these magazines that came out? I remember it was in one of those magazines that had an article How did J-Lo get rid of her devastating derriere? That's what I read in this article. And I was like, I was young at the time, and I was like, devastating derriere, and her booty wasn't even that big. I was like, ugh, what is it about her derriere that is devastating to these people? So then they preferred the flat-bootied Jennifer Lopez. And speaking of which, I remember Gabrielle, what is her name? The one from Desperate Housewives. What is her name? Is her name Gabrielle? Or did she play Gabrielle Solis? The woman, oh God, what is her name? What is her name? Put her name down in the comments and I'll give you a shout out. The woman who played the role of Mrs. Solis's wife, the one who was with the pool boy and stuff like that, she had a stint on The Young and the Restless. And Eva Longoria, yes, thank you, thank you. First person who said it was nurse student possibility. So shout out to you, thank you. Eva Longoria is because I was at this fundraiser with her, and she's friends with Gabrielle Union, and I had to deliver messages back and forth between them, and so I got my names all mixed up this morning. But yes, Eva Longoria, she had a stint on The Young and the Restless, and when she was on The Young and the Restless, man, do you all remember that she had these hips? And I was like, damn, I was like, you go, girl. But by the time she wanted to get onto a larger platform like Desperate Housewives, she went and slimmed down tremendously. She actually became really bony, and I was like, oh, I mean, I understand it, but look, I remember when I was a little girl growing up, and I remember my first vision of like womanhood outside of my mother. I was like 3 years old, and I was being taken to pre-K. And I grew up in the Bronx, so there were all of these Latina women around us. And there was this woman, I don't remember her name, if it was Gloria or Sonia, I don't remember. But I remember being a little girl and looking up at the profundity of her waist to hip ratio. And I was like, golly, when I grow up, I want that to be me. I want to be buxom and curvy, because the way those women walked and rolled their hips, it was a sight to behold. And as a little girl, I could recognize that. I found that very appealing, an appealing facet of womanhood and femininity. And I was like, yeah, I want to be that when I grow up. And so I read this article, and so I've always loved curvaceousness. This is why I keep myself curvy. You all know what it is that you all who have come to my dance parties, you know what it is that your girl is working with over here. You know. You know. But nonetheless, so this is why I keep myself curvy, and I love being curvy. And so I read this article, and I was like, gosh, devastating derriere. And I was like, these people are crazy. I was like, Jay, first of all, she didn't even really have a booty, but this is what they prefer over all of those curves. So these people spent decades attempting to tell us that our bodies are not desirable, that these booties look ghetto, that they booties look fat, that they this and they're not appealing. They've been trying to convince us of that for years. However, the appeal of it has persisted. Listen, the appeal of it has persisted. Lord of mercy. The appeal has persisted because it looks good. It's fabulous. It's sexy. It's voluptuous. It's nice. And we have always loved our curves, and Black men have always loved the curves and celebrated them. Yeah, it seemed as if they celebrated it more on those who were the phenotype, closer to the phenotype of the oppressor. So they'd be like, oh, I want me a Latina woman because, they have that phenotype, closer to the phenotype, but then they also have, the great waist to hip ratio, right? So nonetheless, they've been trying to convince us for years that it doesn't look good, but we know it looks fabulous. And so we have continued on, and we have sat in our beauty and our glory as Black women, womb holders, African sisters, right? And then what ended up happening? They couldn't beat us. So then they were like, well, we really know deep down it does really look good. Now you see people getting all types of lip injections, BBL, Brazilian butt lifts, taking fat from one part, trying to put it in another, walking around now with these small waists cinched up and these big fake booties and all this, that, and the other. And now they've come over to our side and they're like, yeah, now they're trying to beat us at our own game. Now you see them out there on the internet, blackfishing and doing all types of stuff on the internet, right? Right. So listen, I'm going somewhere with this, right? So what ends up happening is, right? Listen, we know that melanin magic. I mean, you all see it aglow. And it's like it's beautiful. When people go into their weightlifting competitions, they put brown cream on themselves so that they could sparkle. Look, I mean, you've seen it. They put brown cream on themselves so that they can sparkle in the light, so that they have more definition because it looks good. It's beautiful. Melanin is magical. My goodness, how you see that glow on the cheeks and you see the highlight on the skin, and it's amazing. And so how much longer did these men think that them bashing us would convince, in the same way that that magazine tried to convince me that J-Lo had a devastating derriere? How long do Black men think that they're going to be able to put down Black women without the world being like, are you effing crazy? You don't see the beauty that exists here? You're nuts. And so I put up this video with this man, not because I think that he's the most gorgeous man or the most eloquent or the most suave, but to exemplify that these people, these men, these Black men are showing their asses and creating all of this negative promotion for themselves here and all around the world. These images are promoted and pushed into other countries. And people see them with their grills and walking around with smoke coming out their mouths and pants hanging down low with guns pointed to the side, shooting at one another and calling women B's and H's and T's and all of this other stuff, right? And people see them on these shows getting called up talking about, I ain't the father. I had sex with you, but I ain't the father. Right? And they see them on these shows and these programs playing themselves. And they're like, they don't understand. This negative promotion that they're putting out there is only sullying the images of the Black man, abandoning your children, having these what other group of men is going to respect you and you abandon your offspring, a defenseless child who didn't ask to be here. So it's like they're shooting themselves in the foot. And how much longer are Black women going to continue to shop in an aisle that is less likely to have what it is that you're looking for, stab fish in the wrong barrel or in a barrel that's less likely to have the type of fish that you want? Or when are you going to start broadening and seeing the possibilities of out there, going where you're celebrated? Now, yes, okay, so this man may not be appealing to some of you ladies, and I saw some of the comments that you all were putting up earlier, right? For whatever reason it is that you find him unappealing. You have to figure out what it is that you truly value as a woman. You have to figure out what is it that you value for your life, for your offspring's life, what is more likely to produce the type of life that you want, who is more likely to protect, provide, and prop up in the ways that you need to be protected, provided, and propped up. And so every Black man is not attractive. Every Black man does not have swagger, right? However, there are Black men out there who are handling their businesses, who are diamonds in the rough. You know, it's like we go for the wrong things. We go for that which is shiny and glittery. I remember when I was snorkeling in, I believe I was in Thailand at the time. I was snorkeling in Thailand and I have a belly ring, right? And I'm in the water snorkeling and there's like all of these schools of fish around and I feel this nip on my belly, right? It was a fish who saw my belly ring and went to go nibble on my belly ring. And I'm like, oh my goodness. You know, so it's like, I'm there in the water and this fish sees something shiny and it gravitates over towards me and it's barking up the complete wrong tree. My belly ring is not going to be able to feed this fish. And seeing these shiny things in the water is actually what gets a lot of fish caught up on a hook and pulled out and then end up as someone's supper. So far too many of us Black women, we see a man who has the type of swagger that we adore, that dresses how we like, and all of this other stuff, right? Now listen, yes, you've got to, when you get with a man, you've got to accept him for who it is that he is. However, there are some things like a man is gonna, there's some things men don't really care about that you can help him with. Like, let's take a look at this man again, right? So he looks like he may be a little chubby,
it's
right?
sad.
Let's
It
take a
really
look. I
is
want to
because
find
black
just a
men
still
need to
shot of
just
him, right? This is his face, right? Now it's an angle, right? It's an angle. But you know, you talk to a person, find out how open they are to working out. Like if you're a woman who works out, find out how open they are to working out. Find out how flexible they are with upping their wardrobe. Find out how flexible they are with travel or the things that you like. And if you hear that they're adamantly against or it's not something that's important to them or they have no desire, like this man, you can work with this guy. We got to see him the right angle. We got to see him from the right angle. We can talk to him, see how open he is to working out. And something that you're going to have to remember is nobody is a finished product. You're not a finished product. He's not a finished product. However, have conversations with people, see where their head is at, see where they want to go financially and whether or not they're taking the steps to get there. You know what I mean? Like a guy like this, juice something for him and see how open. If he's like, ugh, juice, ugh, vegetables, ugh, then you know that you're in the wrong area. Because I'll tell you this much, right? I have, for the most part, never really met a man. I haven't really met many men, Black men, who are vegetarians, right? Never really met many of them. However, right? You talk to people, you find out how open. I couldn't date a man who didn't eat vegetables. That's just not, I can't even imagine that they would smell good inside, right? But I'll tell you this much. When I'm dating a man and I'm cooking, the meals that he's eating are vegetarian meals. And then what ends up happening is like it even happened here with my family during the pandemic. You know, I cook every day. I cook vegetarian meals. It's been 8 months now. My family's eating vegetarian. Like even my nieces are like, I don't even want chicken. Chicken comes inside something, they take the chicken, they pluck it out. Like every once in a while, they'll eat some chicken, but for the most part, they eat vegetarian, just like me, because I'm the one who cooks the meals in the house, right? So it's like, how open is a person to receiving the level up, the upgrade, the shift? And I think for far too many of us, we don't really know what it is that we're looking for. And you know that I'm creating a game called Are You the One for Me? And in that game, I give you the keys to asking the right questions to find out if a person is a good goals and values match for you. Those are the most important things. You have to see whether or not a person aligns with your values and whether or not they align with your goals. Are they going in the same direction with you? And then there are other things like temperament and deal breakers and questions that you need to ask. But I think there's so many of us, it's like when you're on a diet and you abstain from something for so long that when you see it, you go crazy and you just start binging, eating everything, healthy or unhealthy, right? And I think that for far too many Black women, we have been kept separated from adoration, attention, love, and caring for so long. So many of us didn't even have that growing up because fathers weren't in the home, or the fathers that weren't SHIT, or mothers were doing all types of stuff in the house. And many of us we've been kept away from loving attention. So that when we grow up and there's a man who's like, hey, shorty, you real cute. Look at that fatty, or whatever they're saying, right? We're like, here, bust open your legs, everything. Kick up your backside. Having intercourse on the front step as they're trying to kiss you goodnight. They pull out their penis and there you are, don't know the man's name, don't have a bed, and haven't had anything invested in you, and he's poking you on the front porch or in the elevator or wherever, in the car, whatnot, because you've been abstaining. You've been kept away from loving adoration and attention for so long that the moment that you get a little bit of it, even if it's not sincere, you just go all out, you start binging. And you start doing things to harm yourself. And then you get in a position where now you're trying to play catch up, now trying to turn this Build-A-Bum, this ragamuffin, into who it is that you want him to be. And your friends have already seen you with this man, and you don't want to let him go because you don't want them to be like, oh, you can't keep a man, or oh, your perception was off, and people try to tell you about him, and now you're fighting against these people and your ego because you're like, I'm going to make him into who I want him to be. And then you get caught up in this vicious cycle where you end up left and alone, broken or in despair, with your esteem beat down. And all for what? All for what? All I'm saying is open your eyes. Look around, listen, hear, go where you're celebrated, not just merely tolerated. It's like men all over the world are waking up. People are waking up to the toxicity that has been promoted out there from the Black community and the inconsistent, incongruent, and contradictory actions of Black males out there. Black men and their behaviors, young Black men. And so all I'm saying is open up your options. Open up your point of view. Just open yourself to working with a person. 80-20 is the balance. 80% of what you want, 20% of what you can work with. You know what I mean? Because nobody is going to be perfect. However, stop walking up the meat and cheese aisle if you're looking for fruits and veggies. Go to the veggie aisle. Go to an area that is more likely to have what it is that you value and desire. I'm going to read some of your comments, and then we are going to discuss some of those, and let's talk. Meanie is saying, I stay in shape. The pandemic forced me to go harder in the gym. I can't have Rona tearing my head off. Plus, being fit increases my dating pool. Virgo is saying, didn't these dusties learn from Becky said about them? They're the last choice. Elle is saying, many women don't even get to cook because they're out here working and paying bills. Lord of mercy. Be the Light is saying, dust comes in every race. Facts. Karsten is saying, notice when they object to out elevation, all they have are the same old talking points that have already been debunked. They spend their time signing from a broken record, or it's supposed to be singing, I guess, while the women improve. I need you all to just do a little bit of spell check before you press enter, because if I pull up your comment, it interrupts the flow and I can't really read what you're writing. Nicole is saying, Brian says a lot of the women in the chat needs to be on a diet as he sports his B icon pic because he's afraid to show his face. Riduni is saying, I never seen the most delusional people than Black American. Y'all don't get it on what is going on in your country. It's a shame. Well, the frog in the boiling water doesn't realize that it's in boiling water. It's very simple as that. Miss B is saying, I appreciate me a big man. They be so fluffy and loving. Really? Heck, look, everybody, it takes all types to run the world. And so Tired is saying, only way to feel like they are about someone is at Black women because they are cowards and fear the real king in this country. I don't really know what we mean by that. So Miss B is saying, we could work with a big man. Okay, so there are women who love the big men. Men are says, I haven't eaten meat in 6 years. Definitely a different frequency. Yeah, absolutely. Leedy is saying, I don't eat pork. I don't cook pork in my house, but I don't stop my spouse from eating it outside. I mean, you can't really stop anybody from doing anything. Mojo is saying, Black women have to divest. Statistically, there's not enough quality Black men for a group they're outnumbered by. Plus, half of those that are left are so, oh goodness, so gay. Do the math. Black women can't hang their hats on BM only. My 2 cents is saying American Black men are in denial about basic reality. Sin is saying love yourself and leave these dusty Black American men alone. Divest, divest, divest. You know what? Leave dusty men of any race and culture alone. Not just Black American dust, Caribbean dust, African dust, European dust, Indian dust, Asian, whatever it is. Leave dust alone. Get yourself a dustbuster, some pledge, and a cloth. Spray, wipe, repeat, and just find yourself the person who is right for you. However, some of us attract dust and don't really realize why we're attracting dust. If you continuously find that you're attracting dust, look at yourself, because there's some things that need to be recalibrated on the inside. Miss Logic is saying, my cousins are arguing with their white women because they don't want their children to credit a white man for their gifts. It's hilarious. How interesting. Lord of mercy. Go ahead and get those thumbs up. There's about 900 people on this broadcast, so go ahead and get those thumbs up, and share the video with whoever you feel needs to hear it, etc. So my book is finally, all of the revisions done, submitted to the publisher, and it should be out in a few weeks. So those of you who've been wanting to get the book, just hang tight in there. I know we've been sold out worldwide. There's just a lot that it takes to be able to get the book out of press and into the hands of Amazon, etc. It just takes a lot. Just write your comments in the comments area after the video is up. And I want to hear your thoughts and your points of view about this. And you know what? Try to keep an open heart and keep an open mind. Don't get bitter, get better. Don't get bitter, get better. All right? Don't allow the trials and tribulations of life to turn you jaded. When you numb yourself to pain, you also numb yourself to pleasure. So keep yourself open. You have a wide, large, full life to live out there. Don't stifle yourself. All right? So Tanya TKO and I am out. Go out there and love one another. But most importantly, what? That's right. Love yourself. Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is aligning yourself with people who treat you well, people who treat you as you deserve to be treated, aligning yourself with people who honor you and you feel a higher vibration dealing with them. Like, there are people who comment on my video and they're like, I saw this particular video, but I really didn't know how to articulate what was troubling me. There's sometimes things trouble us on the inside and we don't really know how to put it to words. But when our spirit is troubled, listen to that and go where your spirit feels free and large and vibrant and your energy feels more uplifted. Okay? So on that note, I will see you all in the next video. Who said, women don't need a man. And, we need one another. We balance each other out. We balance each other out. We need each other. It's good to be just full and in love with yourself. However, we're social creatures. Make sure that you're not ostracizing yourself. Make sure that you're not isolating yourself. Make sure that you're staying social and that you don't cut yourself off from romantic love, from friendship love, because of things that have happened in the past. So human beings, we need one another. Women need men. Men need women. Women need women. Men need men. Adults need children. Children need adults. We all need one another. Old people need children. Old people need adults. Children need old people. Adults need old people. It's the cycle of life. We all need one another. So just keep yourself open to that. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, make sure that you subscribe, and hit the bell notifications to be notified of new videos. Leave a comment below, share the video, and come over to TanyaTKO.com to subscribe to my personal mailing list and drop me a message of a viral story that you'd like for me to cover. See you on the other side. Peace.